What's the benefit of choosing a vision plan that fits your family's busy life? The peace of mind that comes with fully covered vision care exams. The comfort of knowing you get a frame allowance so everyone can find the frames they love. And the confidence to see every moment clearly. Quality vision coverage you and your family can count on. That's the benefit of Blue.
Guys, thanks so much for joining me today, joining us for this webinar. I was trying to find buttons to be able to talk to everybody. So if you see me doing anything weird, that's what I have like a command central back here of things to go. So again, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to come to this webinar to learn a little bit about color theory, your eye health, wellness. I mean, this is like super, super important. So thank you so much. I also want to thank Blue Star Families and Blue Cross Blue Shield, FEP, for being the sponsors of this amazing, amazing opportunity. So I am going to, with all of that, more buttons. I'm going to share my screen because I need to do that really quick to get a lot of things up. All right, let's see if this makes sense. Does this make sense? Does everybody see this? Do we see a presentation mode? Give me some thumbs up so I can see it. This is what we're going to be talking about, seeing our spaces, how vision shapes the places we live in. We live in as military families in lots of places. So this is really important. We're going to go through a quick overview. We're going to talk about frequent moves, what challenges we have. We're going to talk about vision health and wellness, all the things. And this is me. Here you go. I am not going to waste your time. Screenshot that. There you go. You can learn all about me, all the things you wanted to know, probably more than you wanted to know. But the person that I do want to talk about is Tiffany with the last cool name, Sauce. Tiffany, are we on together? Does everybody see us?
Hi, everyone.
Good. I am so glad you're here. I've been wanting to say this. I know this kind of sounds silly, but you're Tiffany Sauce. You got the secret sauce?
Yeah. Well, it's pronounced excuse, like excuse, but without an X.
There you go. Yes, I got a message. Sierra?
Yes, Marina, it's not in presentation mode. So we're only seeing the initial page, seeing our spaces.
Okay, I see it in presentation mode. So how about now? Do we stay
Now I
this?
see the about us.
Okay, so I shall go back really quick so you can see it. I'm not going to put it in presentation mode for whatever reason. Gotta love tech. We talked a little bit about an overview. This was me. Here you go. Screenshot that. Learn all the things. And Tiff. Now say it again. It's Suse, like excuse, but Suse.
Like excuse, but without the X. So just excuse.
Excuse. Okay.
I'm the only one in the global. My husband's active duty, so.
There you go. Okay, but I was reading and learned some things about you. You were also in the military. Tell us a little bit.
I was a Navy veteran. I served 11 years active duty. It was great. I got to tour the world on an aircraft carrier, so not the kind of cruise ship I would love to be on, but and then I met my husband when we were both working at the Pentagon. He's active duty Marine Corps, but at least I stayed within the department, so.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, in the comments, if you wouldn't mind, let us know, drop what branch affiliation you're with. So you said Marine and Navy.
Yep.
We're Army. So go ahead and drop those in the comments. All right, I want to get into it. I know I only have 30 minutes and I was already going crazy with, how am I going to do all this? All right. So one thing that I want to talk about is spatial awareness on kind of how we perceive things, which is pretty interesting. We talk about how light affects the way we look at things, how close or how far something appears. And I really want to touch with you, Tiffany, on how that visual wellness can affect how we see things. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think like just in general, your vision is a part of your overall health and wellness, right? I know that it affects my kids every time we move, just everything, every little aspect and component of all the kids moving. this is really important. And you don't realize because it's such a small thing, but it makes such a big difference in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I want to show this graphic because this really can explain a lot when it comes to visual perception. So this is the same room with the same flooring, with the same lighting, the same window, the same area rug, and it looks like they're all different. They don't look like they're the same space. So when we talk about paint, color, light and dark and shadow and contrast and how that affects our spaces, look at what happens just when you paint something. So I really firmly believe if you do not have your eyes checked, and we saw this with our son. So if anybody can relate to this, please drop it in the comments. We got all of those calls from the teachers saying, oh, he's a behavioral issue. He's really nice though, but he's a behavioral issue. And it had nothing to do with behavior. It had to do with his vision. He couldn't see, he couldn't see his depth perception. He couldn't see the board, which made him, I guess, if you will, like kind of act out. What are your thoughts on that?
I actually had the same problem with my first grader. Now she's a third grader. We thought it was maybe a learning disability, or we thought it was the moves. It was just back to back, a whole bunch of different things. And then we realized, like, we went, the whole family had glasses but her. But we're like, you know what, let's just double check. And lo and behold, she was the one who needed the glasses, completely changed her aspect on school and everything. And I was like, okay, so moving, check, not a problem. It was the glasses. Reading picked up. It just changed her whole attitude with everything.
Yes. And I don't know if you all are aware, but right now is open season and it ends on December 9th. So if you don't know what open season is, Tiff, can you
Oh,
please
yeah.
share
This
what
is
it
one thing I completely missed. So I have been with Blue Cross Blue Shield for a couple of years, but I wasn't tracking what open season was because we don't need to worry about that. We're active duty, it just kind of comes natural. So I didn't know that it was only a very short window. So I missed the first year. So when I came out of pocket for all four of my kids to have not only their glasses, but then when they lost glasses, and then one of them decided, oh, I'm a teenager now, I want contacts. It adds up. So I made sure not to miss that next open season, which happily aligns right after the Marine Corps birthday. So it made it a lot easier for me because it's in the fall. So
Right. It worked out. So it still is open season till December 9th. So
yeah, about another week.
yeah, if you want to get information, learn more, I hope someone can drop that link in the comments as well. Learn more so that you can make an informed decision. That's, to me, is the most important part. All right, so we're on this color perception, and I do want folks to understand, again, I'm looking over at my very cool teachery notes over here, warm versus cool. So if any of you that are on right now like struggle with that or have issues with understanding the difference between, you know, warm and cool, or wanting to just learn more, drop a comment and I will answer those questions. But warm colors like red, orange, and yellow, they tend to advance. And what does that mean? It makes an object appear closer than it actually is. So when you use those colors, and then cool tones are called, they're receding tones. They make things seem further away. So like I said, the teacher and me, a little homework, try this with a pillow or like a decorative throw, something that you have, even a blanket in those colors, and watch how your eyes see it differently. Even those warm colors make things appear larger than they really are. So you want to think about that when you're using colors in your space. So with that, I want to go right here to color and spatial organization. Isn't it amazing that as military families, we move around and we don't get to decide what our houses look like sometimes? We like buy, rent, sight unseen, base housing. We're like, this is what we get, and we have to work with it. So I really love the idea of color and spatial organization because it defines a space. And this is a great image. It's a little nook in a bedroom, but because it is a different color, it defined that space for functionality and said, the office is here. this is where this goes. So Tiffany, what do you think about doing something like this using color and spatial organization?
Yeah, I mean, I love this, and I actually love that color too. So here's
Yeah.
a question. When you move, do you switch up? Like my walls are blue now because it makes my heart. I love navy blue. But then when I go to my other rooms, all white walls. This is the only room that has color. But when you move to other places, do you switch it up and switch from warm tones or blue tones, or do you always stay with the same kind of color palette when you guys move?
Oh, I'd love to hear what they have to say. Me, I'm a switcher upper. I do love it's paint. You know what I mean? It's not, removable wallpaper. Like I don't see that as a big deal. Some people do, and they want to keep it all just the same and they want to PCS out, like make that transition as easy as possible. So I do think it's a preference, but for me, I do love making my spaces personal because whether I'm there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's still our space. This is our home. Our kids, they're making their memories here. So it's important for me. And I'll share a quick story. Our daughter, when she was young, we were at our first duty station, she wanted a pink bedroom. And I remember when she said that, I was like, mortified, pink, like thinking we're going to have to paint this back. We're going to need primer. Like, and then I just saw this little face, like just sink because all she wanted was a pink room. And I immediately, of course, went to Home Depot and got paint and painted the room pink because I realized it was her memories too. It's not just, okay, we're going to PCS. We have to see this like an agenda. It's their life. So it was very important to add that color to their lives. So if you guys have any comments about any of that, or you're feeling those pain points, please chime in and let me know. All right, I want to give you a couple of practical tips. So with visual clarity, right, we're going to maximize functionality with multi-purpose furniture. Do we agree with that statement? Do we know what that means?
No, please explain, Maria.
I shall. What is multi-purpose furniture? Multi-purpose furniture is furniture that think about it as units that are movable, like a couch that you can actually take
Like my entire IKEA house.
Yes, because you can move things around, and what works in one house may not work in that same layout in another house. So if you have furniture that is multifunctional, it is super helpful to use it in different places. So even if you don't have it now, something to think about for the future, you can work things through, but it really helps, I believe, for military families. When you're laying out furniture, and this is really important with spatial perception, make sure that you have clear and easy pathways. And what I've noticed a lot is that it's not necessarily the furniture. Sometimes it's the clutter of things. And we're going to talk about decluttering, because if you don't have good depth perception, it's really easy to trip over things and not see a complete view of your layout if you have a lot of clutter. So clear pathways. Try to create dedicated work zones, even if they're small. I had one in a closet once. I had my little space with my removable wallpaper, but I made it work because those are your zones that you can say, this is work. Even for the kids, this is play. This is their areas. So things aren't everywhere, and we have better spatial organization and spatial perception. And last, and I want everyone to try this, it's called the 20-20-20 rule, and it's really great for your eye health. And what does the 20-20-20 rule do? It means if you're on a screen for 20 minutes, you're going to separate from that screen and you're going to find a point that is 20 feet away, and you're going to look at that for 20 minutes. Or I'm sorry, for 20 seconds. That sounded really long, 20 minutes. So we're all going to do it right now. Stop looking at our screen, look at something that's 20 feet away, and just look at that for 20 seconds. But I'm going to come back, because if you're looking away, what this is doing, the 20-20-20 rule, is it's actually relaxing your eyes. This is an exercise to help for your eyes not to have visual fatigue. It happens so much because we live on screens.
But if I stare at my couch for 20 seconds, I'm going to be like, I think I should move it because it's time.
Or I think
that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
I'm in a place for too long. I want to remove I just want to switch my furniture around so the itch goes away to move.
I understand. And that's okay. I do it all the time. If anyone else feels that way, please chime in as well. I do move my furniture around all the time and things just go, oh, let me do this. And then, like you said, you don't have that itch to move. But that 20-20-20 rule, and we're going to have another rule in a little while, that is really helpful for eye fatigue. It really just changes the game. And then you come back, believe it or not, you feel better. You're like, oh, this is a better situation. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about visual wellness, since that's what we're talking about, and light and how that works. So rooms that could be too bright, that could be too dark. Have you ever changed the light bulbs whenever you move?
Always.
Always. What do you change them to? I'm judging. No.
We have the Alexa lights, so you can just change the hue to be whatever you want. But I prefer the warmer lights because it makes me feel good. So that's what I tend to stick to.
Okay, so I'm actually going to go over that. I'm so glad you said that, because we're going to talk about color temperature. Color temperature is really very interesting what it does to our body. So you said the warmer, the yellower tone. So that's at about, light is measured in Kelvin. So it's 2,500 Kelvin. And when you see it on the box, sometimes it says soft light. That actually can reset our circadian rhythm to make us tired. That is designed to make us sleepy, believe it or not. Now I'm going to go the other side, 5,000 Kelvin. Oftentimes we see it says daylight. It looks blue, but daylight is actually what the sun produces. So and that's actually a little bit more, 6,500 Kelvin. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of technical. But that light also resets our circadian rhythm, because that light gives us energy. So you see all of these in the middle. We're going to go here to talk about the practicality of lighting and how that also affects what we see. If you are doing your homework or your office work in ambient lighting, which is like the whole room, that puts strain on your eyes. That's why task lighting is called task lighting. And it usually is about 5,000 Kelvin. So you are aware, you are alert, and you are doing what you need to get done. Now, putting that same color temperature, going back 5,000 Kelvin, into your kids' room when they want to go to sleep, that might keep them up. So understanding, which I love the Alexa, tell us just a little bit more. How do you use it when you dim it? Like, how do you change
I
it?
can't say her name because she will change my light bulb. So you say, and then you just change the lights. My husband actually says, darken ship. And then the lights go red because that's just what he does. He's a Marine, but yeah, you can just tell it what degrees you can change it to. And they just change all of them. And there's actually an app where you can go in on the color wheel and adjust it as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I also want folks that are on right now to understand and learn a little bit about lighting. So in this photo, you see we have ambient, task, and accent. They all really do very different things. So that task lighting is really important. It doesn't have to be an overhead pendant. It could be something as simple as a reading light. So think about those things when your kids are doing homework, where you've got their area set up so that they can be fully focused. Their eyes aren't straining, because when their eyes strain, they don't want to do work. Do any of us want to do work?
So how do you feel about mixed lighting? So like you have the task lighting and then the ambient lighting. Like what if you have one that's a warm light and then you have the regular daylight coming in? Like how does that affect all of this stuff? Or what do you recommend?
So that's why I like the light bulbs that can change.
That change.
Because mixed light, especially, having a TV show and filming home decor and filming spaces, we need to have lighting that matches all the time, or it looks awkward on camera. I think in our homes and with our uses, it can vary. You can have, your task light be a light bulb that's, daylight, but then you turn it off and then you have a dimmer ambient light that is more yellow, like not necessarily at the same time. And if anyone disagrees with me, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. I don't like them on at the same time. So all of our light bulbs are changeable, not ones, but changeable to do the same thing. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, I am moving on to some practical tips. And we really talked a little bit about that workspace with task lighting is important. And if you do that, please let me know. Just share with us in the comments. I want this to be, a conversation. We can all talk with each other and we can multitask in those comments. All right, now the psychology of color, because you said you liked warm and that warm makes you feel better. Okay, it tends to bring us calm. Warm colors, warm light.
Calm and tired.
Calm and tired. It can make you tired, but it makes you calmer. Whereas daylight or a bluer light gives us energy. So a lot of families in Alaska, if you're in Alaska, when it's night for 30 days, it is recommended to change those light bulbs to daylight bulbs so that you have some of that. Even if you're not able to go outside, you have some of that light that is affecting the way you see it, you perceive it, so you have more energy. Fascinating to me. All this color psychology is fascinating.
What I hear you saying is I can mom boss at about 5,500 degrees Kelvin.
I think that was the best thing ever. Yes, absolutely. I love that. I'm going to stay with that. That one's funny. All right, so just going over some of the components of color, because we hear this often: hue, saturation, and value. What do they mean? In fact, you used hue a little while ago. The definition of hue is just color. It's another word for color. Hue, color, they're interchangeable. Saturation in a color is how much gray is actually in that color. So when it's fully vivid, fully saturated, if you can see this right up here, this top red, there's no gray in it. The less saturated a color is, you start to see how gray is added and almost looks like a reddish gray. That is saturation. And then value is the lightness or darkness of a color with white at the top and black at the bottom. So I just want to have some definitions as we're getting into this. I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, I have 5 minutes left. It's no way. I'm nowhere near ready. All right. So a few things with paint color to avoid potentially, because this does cause eye strain, is harsh colors. When you have a harsh contrast between colors, it can create an eye strain. So when we see a lot of the design is neutral, all these muted colors that are almost monochromatic, very similar, very low saturated, is because that is actually comfort. So going back to those white walls in military housing, that's not necessarily a bad thing. White makes spaces look larger. White brings us comfort. It feels clean and new and crisp. So white is not always a bad thing. What do you think about that, Tiff?
Yeah, I think you can accent it with everything. And then if you don't like it, you're probably going to move in like 2 years anyways. So
there you go. But
I
accent
use removable wallpaper. I actually really love that.
Thank you. That is one of my favorite things. Okay. And when we were talking about saturated colors, red is bold. It's very energizing, but it can also be an overwhelming color. So if you're thinking about, I want to paint this whole room red, it may be something that you want to consider just using in accents and not necessarily.
Write that down for my Marine Corps husband because we have a red room.
Completely red? So great. If you have a room that's very highly saturated, guys, go sit in it. Go look at it and see how it makes you feel. Again, back to homework, where you have yellows. And this was something from, being a teacher. We didn't want to paint the classrooms yellow. And I was like, why? Yellow's happy kids. This is when I first got started. They're like, no, it makes them very hyper. It makes them more invigorating. So yellow, and again, where in the saturation of that yellow, where it would be.
Like
but
SpongeBob or?
We were like, yellow, no, blue, green, yes. Why blue and green, yes? Calming. They're very calming. Very interesting. Again, very interesting. All right, I want to get us over here to some practical steps. So when you see this space, guys, put in the comments, how does it make you feel?
Like my kitchen would never look like that because I don't have matching dishes.
Because you don't have matching dishes. I feel that to the core.
I have birthday cups from every year, but like I aspire to have
But
Please.
something like this is what brings us calm. Again, not clutter. Do I have any organizational gurus on? Cluttered spaces, also the way we see them, that affects us. We like just want to walk away from it. We don't want to. So when our offices are cluttered or not getting that feeling of calm, we just tend to not do it. Or I'm going to tend to walk away from that because I don't want to be there. So creating spaces that are clutter-free, soft and muted, this really helps us to minimize visual fatigue, number one. Now, someone may be saying, but I love purple and I'm going to paint it purple. And you know what I say? You do you. If you love purple, go. I'm not hating on any of the colors. All right, I am moving quickly. We want to create harmonious spaces, and we want to really maximize how we see them. So in order to do that, if you have not taken an art class, the color wheel, there are, and I know some artists might disagree with me, but there are 3 colors that make all the other colors, basically. And what are these colors? Does anyone know? You get a prize if someone can put it in there in the comments. Can I see the chat? I'm going. Look, I've got a zillion comments. Someone said red, blue.
Yeah, the photographer in me says one thing, but the graphic designer in me says another.
Oh, right. You have the CMYK, you
Yeah.
have RGB, you know, very different. But these 3 colors, and my wheel is on monochrome right now, and I need to get over. So I'm going to get out of this because this is just a graphic. And we're actually going to go here. So guys, if you're on your computer, we can multitask, or if you want to do it later, you can go to color.adobe.com. And this is a free tool. And I really, really love this tool. If you are a graphic designer, if you are even just making graphics for your own social media, you want to think about colors and what's going to work together right here, this is really going to be super helpful. So the answer to your primary colors is red, blue, and yellow. Those colors will make a secondary, and then all those colors will make every color in the rainbow, pretty much. And I know someone will say, that's not completely true. It's the basis of it. And then as you become an artist, it gets a little more complex, but we're going to stay there. So red, and this is a little story with my daughter, blue and yellow. She was asked in preschool, what does blue and yellow make? What do you think her answer was? Well, blue and yellow makes green, but her answer was Michigan. You think my husband is a University of Michigan fan? And just, she knew that from pre-K all the way down. But when you mix to get orange, you want red and yellow. To get green, blue and yellow. To get purple, red and blue. Those are how you're going to mix your colors. And then you're going to make colors from there. But so I'm going to pop on over here. When you look at analogous, what does analogous really mean? It's all those colors within this space. So it's from like a blue over to magenta, all those colors. That is what analogous means within like almost like this family. But then someone say, oh, is that monochromatic? No, monochromatic is different. Monochromatic is within, and you can take I'm just going to move it around. See how interactive this is? I love this tool.
So would you use this to, like, if you had, my walls are white, you
Okay.
have a pillow and you're just going to go off of that one pillow, or a vase that you really liked in your house, is that where your starting point would be for everything else? Or
you could. That's
Okay.
a great way. So there's another rule. Remember, we talked about there being another rule. It's called the 60-30-10 rule. And this is about how we design our spaces, with 60% being a dominant color, whatever that color is, gray, beige, white. Then 30% of your space is a secondary color, with only 10% being an accent color. And sometimes, like I said, if you love purple and you want to make everything purple, it's a lot. That's a lot to consider. We want to kind of stick to that 60-30-10 rule. And this is a way that it can help you. So if you have a pillow that is this, orange color, and you want to stay in a monochromatic theme, here are lots, and you can lighten it up by pushing it together. It lightens it up. So now I'm going, okay, all of those colors will work within the space that I am trying to create. And then I'll move quickly over here to like, what are complementary colors? It just means they're across the color wheel.
And so
of
this
each
would
other.
also apply to like an accent wall?
Mhm.
Okay.
If you want to do an accent wall, you could use this to just help you decide. And it gets more complicated with the split complementary and square. You can see where we're going with this, guys. But if you're just getting started and you want to keep things a little bit simpler, this is a great tool to use. So I wanted to share that with you. Again, it's free. Share it with your friends. Do all the things. And then let's see, I'm doing all my tips. And why is this color wheel important? It really helps us create harmonious spaces because sometimes we struggle with, you know, what goes with what. And one of the best places to look is nature. Just look out in the world. You'll see it. Nature is fascinating. All right, some quick tips. Again, declutter your visual lines. I think that's super important. We want to make sure that you use natural and task lighting effectively so you don't put eye strain. As you can see, I'm on the computer zillion hours a day. These are blue light so that I have less strain on my eyes. Make sure to make your homes your own. You know, oftentimes I see that, oh, don't put up anything on the walls. No, put up those pictures of your family. Your kids are only little once. Do the things. Think about how these colors are going to affect your family's behavior and when they are home. So if you're wanting to paint that red room, we can talk to your husband. Maybe it is just an accent wall, or maybe it is just an accent piece and not floor to ceiling. I've done floor to ceiling dark green. It's intense, beautiful, but intense. What are your thoughts, Tiff?
Yeah, I'm gonna really try hard to make one wall red instead of the entire room red. I'd be like, I talked to Maria today, and this is the new game plan for 2025.
Well, think about how it makes you feel. So guys,
Yeah.
do the same. How does it make you feel? Because to me, design and decor really is all about your perception. And that could be very different than my perception. But how you and your family are going to live in those spaces, I think is absolutely the most important and crucial thing. Now, I want to make sure, and I don't think I said it at the beginning. By the way, everyone who was on, you're already entered to win one of, let me put it on here, one of 5 145 Warby Parker gift cards. And if you've not gone there, that's where, look, oh, I said I was going to do a wardrobe change.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wardrobe change. If you haven't used any of the frame tools, they're fantastic. And I, love Warby Parker. So there is a five $145 gift cards. So I'm going to make sure I am answering all the questions. All right, I have one. Eyeglasses, frames, lenses, and contacts. Instead of what are your like in between? You said your daughter is a glasses.
My daughter's glasses, and then she went to contacts, and then it depends on what she's doing. All three of my other kids are glasses. One of them loses them all the time. So Warby Parker is our go-to because they love going there and trying them all on because there's basically stores everywhere. Everywhere we're stationed, there's a Warby Parker, or I can just go to Target or any of the places. That's what's great about Blue Cross is that it's just everywhere I actually move. But yeah, definitely.
There's great online tools too. You don't have to go anywhere. That's how.
Yeah, there's a try on tools where like we could sit here on my phone and my daughter was like, "Ooh, these are cute," and I was like, "No, you're getting one pair of glasses. You're 9."
This is what you get. You get. All right. So I believe they're going to send in via email to the 5 winners who get the gift cards. After this, you will get an email. I'm trying to go through all my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. Did I miss something? I know I missed something and I feel horrible. Did I?
I think there might be maybe we can share the link to try on the glasses.
Okay.
So they can just see what it's like.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to get out of sharing my screen. I'm going to stop. I have stopped sharing my screen. Woo, now I can see all the things. Wow. So guys, if you've got any questions, you can about color, about design, feel free, reach out to me, ask me anything. I'm on all the socials at Moving with the Military. If somebody has questions right now, do we have Eddie with us?
We do have, yes.
Eddie, what
Hey,
up?
Eddie.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I am not on my laptop. It is going berserk for some reason, but I am connected here through Teams, so I am just so excited. And Warby Parker, I love Warby Parker.
I do
And
too. Sorry, I just saw a message down here that they want me to announce that this video will also have a replay and that will be emailed out as well, just to make
Oh,
sure.
great.
Continue, Sir Eddie.
I just, I'm really honored to be here with you ladies today. I didn't get to see the whole thing. I really wanted to. And
Watch the replay. No
I
worries.
will, but you are so right because my desk is awful. It is piled high. And in the morning when I get my coffee and I work at home so I just hate to head to the desk unless it's clean like it's going to be tomorrow.
We feel that we perceive our spaces differently, so it changes how our mood is. I wanted to see a question right here. Instead of doing, so we're talking about the red wall, that you can use floor to ceiling curtains. Someone made this comment in a very bold color. So when your walls are white or beige or gray, you can bring in color with other elements. Throw pillows, area rugs. I love using colorful area rugs, curtains. That adds those elements, and then those items are portable. I can take that with me, and then I don't have to worry about having to paint a wall. I was trying to go through the comments to make sure I'm answering all the
So there's a suggestion. What do you feel about the Pantone colors for 2025? And also, I would like to know that too, because if that is something I can switch that red wall from.
So every color manufacturer, painter, paint company, they pick their own. So the Pantone one, that's like, if you guys don't know, that's like a super secret meeting held globally. Like they don't even know where it's going to be. And all these people meet and then they decide what these colors are. But a lot of it is based on graphic design and fashion trends. I tend to lean more to the paint company colors because I really feel like they're more for a home. They're more for spaces as opposed to the color that's trending for
Your new handbag.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I loved when it was magenta and I had the whole, magenta purse skirt thing, but I couldn't really see bringing that color into my home. But that again was my personal opinion. So you guys can let me know.
Okay, so then what is the Pantone color of the year for home? What are we looking at for 2025?
They don't specifically say for home.
No,
It
you,
is-
Maria, what do you think it should
what is
be?
mine? Oh, wow. I've seen so many. I really like it. I'm like, feel like I'm putting colors into, I don't want to do that because I am
You're like,
subliminal.
I love all the children the same.
I do. I love all the children the same, and color is subjective.
It's a teacher in you.
It is, right? Everyone gets a star. But you were in that grade. We had that conversation. I was seeing some more, and when you guys are ready to have me stop talking, just tell me, because I'll keep going. Removable wallpaper, really, I've never heard of it. Can you put it all over, put it over existing wallpaper? You can check your manufacturer. Not all wallpaper is created equally, and I recently had an issue in a makeover that we did. So there was a TV moment where the wallpaper was on for a camera, and then the wallpaper all fell off. And I was mortified. And I went back to the home, went back to the manufacturer, did it multiple times. And it's not all created equally. Really check it out before you just commit. I know that's a hard one because you can always return it which is what we did. We returned it because it wasn't working. How do you balance choosing a paint color with existing finishes? Oh, wow. So that's part of using that color wheel. So when you have certain finishes, for example, and I mix my metals. Do you? Because I see in the back, you've got there like a gold sconce.
We're renting.
And that's all right.
It's only temporary. I'm like, well, it's kind of fancy, but sure, we'll just go with it.
Let's go with this. I like to mix metal. So you see, I have brushed nickel, and then I have gold, and then we have black. So I tend to keep my paint colors in the large living spaces neutral. And then when I'm working in, say, a smaller space, an office space, I will, with using golds, I may go a little warmer, or when using silvers, I may go a little cooler. It depends. I know I don't give like these really full answers because I've got to see the space. I've got to see the moment. I've got to see it in different light. I've got to visit it.
It has
several
to speak
times.
to you.
It has to speak to me.
I
So
never thought about mixing metals. I like, it didn't even dawn on me, but I'm like, you know what? I realized I don't mix metals on my jewelry, but I definitely do in the kitchen and everywhere else in my house.
okay.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So if
Wow.
you have stainless steel appliances, do you have to have stainless steel fixtures and stainless steel knobs?
No.
I don't either. Some people do. Husband, that might be the military. He's like, it must all match. It must all be exact. And I'm like, no, how about we do this? Let's check this out. But sometimes we have to see it in place to,
Yeah.
to really, go for it. And so my husband does too. Thank you, Michelle. Anyway, I would like to ask if you have any further comments that you want to say, Tiffany. I know we've gone over time and everyone's been very generous to stay on. But do you have any last comments you'd like to add about open season?
Well, I just want to say thanks so much for joining. I learned so much from talking with you, so this has been great. And definitely keep open season in mind. I didn't realize how much it affected my family's health and wellness, and every time we move. So it's not just the small things about the house and the home and the school. It's also about mental health, vision health, all of that. So yes, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Open season goes for another week, so keep that in mind.
And if you're on right now and you have questions, Eddie is on with us and he can answer any of those questions that you may have. So I'm not gonna go. I'm just like looking over, love mixing metals. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, she's with me. See, my husband doesn't understand. I love textured wallpaper as an accent wall. Yes, I do too. And you can work with some of the thicker removable wallpaper that will go on textured walls. Because that's a lot of fear sometimes, like, oh, I have textured walls. I can't put wallpaper on. It has to be flat. Not true. It can go on. Again, not all wallpaper is created equally. You got to check it out and see. So I usually tend to do a small space and see if I like it. All right. Someone says all bronze and copper. That's stunning, actually. I think I would love that. Can Eddie introduce himself? Oh, they already said that. He did. Eddie, do you have any further words you'd like to say? I see his information right here. Oh, he's on mute.
Oh, am I? Uh-oh.
You're on. We hear you.
We can hear you, Eddie.
Oh, good. I was just pressing a button. My phone just went nuts. Everything here at my house, I don't know what's going on, but I am, ready to roll. If you have a question, I'd love to answer it about your dental or vision. But I am just enamored with your presentation. So.
Well, thank you. I do the hearts. And apparently I'm dating myself. I can't do that anymore. I don't even know.
I do this one.
This one, something. And then I can, girl, I was just in South Korea, by the way. So again, and doing a lot of color and color theory there, which is very interesting. But yes, thank you all again for taking the time. If you've got any questions, Eddie is available and and if you've got any questions for us too, feel free to drop them here. And I'm happy to answer them after the fact. If anyone needs to reach you, Tiff, how can they do that?
Yeah, I think we can just connect with them afterwards, I think in the follow-up. But yes, open season ends December 9th. So just hang up and just go do it right now because it makes it easier because you'll forget like I did the first year and I will never do that again.
And with all the holiday situation, do it now. Just get it done, get your information.
Check it off the list, like moving the elf.
That's great. Remember the elf. I love that. All right. Well, thank you guys again so much for being on. And I think they put it in the comments here. Yes. So there's a link in the comments. If you've got any information or any questions that you want to take a look at, you can find it all right there. All right. So I'm going to ask Michelle on the back end. The giveaways are going to be emailed, correct? The 5.
Yes, the winners will be emailed. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Let's bring up Eddie. Eddie, can you stay on in case anyone has some questions about open season? He's here to help you guys find a plan to fit your military family.
I would love to stay on. I am right here.
Look at you! Yay!
I've got my Blue Cross glasses on. See?
Ooh.
Well, and I am on cell phone. Sorry about that, but the laptop kind of went nuts. It's still going crazy. I don't know what's happening in our area, but I would love to talk to you about dental and vision, and tell you what a great opportunity it is during open season to sign up for that. You can see I wear glasses, and I don't have your program, but I have one similar, and it really keeps me up to date because at the last minute I say, oh, I've got to have a vision appointment. So it's exactly like you were talking about a few minutes ago. Any questions out there that I can answer at all about your dental or visions? And I cannot see the chat. Thank you, Michelle, but if you see one in the chat, can you read it to me?
So one question, Eddie, I know I had when I first got it is, does it apply to my spouse who's active duty? And because we're like, oh my gosh, we pay so much money for his contacts, right? So, short answer is no. It only applies to the family members, but that still saves us a ton because with the 4 kids and myself, it was great. But so
Yes.
It only applies to the active duty family members, not
That's
the active
right.
duty member itself.
He's the sponsor, but yes, you are the ones that are covered.
Yeah, which is great.
It is, because we have so many stylish frames out there, and our network is large. We do have, on a lot of bases, we do have our providers right there in the area where the BX and the PX and all those are, where they call it the mall, I think. I've only been on a few. And so our network is large, almost 200,000 locations now where you can get those.
Eddie,
Yeah,
there is a question. Oh, go ahead.
In the chat, Tracy, I just moved from the West Coast, and yes, no problem, because not only can you go to like my eye doctor for your appointments, but you can go to Target and Costco, and you can go online and shop. So it is literally everywhere I have moved in the 2 duty stations. It's been where I've been at. So easy on and off base.
I'm glad to hear that. Yes, my eye doctor, you do get more money for your frames. They are our premier carrier with us. So, and they're heavier on the East Coast and in the Midwest. And we are working on growing that network out in California. We just added, I believe it was 40, over 40 new independent locations in Oregon, Washington, and Northern California.
How many bases can you name, Eddie?
If you would have asked me before this meeting, I could have told you a lot more. I was trying to log on and everything's going crazy. Let's see. I know.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. What if you were living in Oconus, right? So not in the continental United States, and you were moving to Hawaii or something.
You are still covered under our vision program. If you look in our brochure, and it is on, I've got it right here, because I thought this question may come up. It is on page 23 and 24 of our brochure. We have fixed rates for you so that wherever you are for your eyeglass frames and lens, you can find those. It is a fixed amount for your eye exam, whether you have high or standard option. And if you are outside of the country, by the way, your premium is the lowest. Well, that's dental. I'm sorry. Your premium is the same worldwide for vision. For your eye exam, we pay $60. And for your lens, we'll pay up to $72. That will more than cover it in 99% of the places you're going to be. And then the bifocals, $109. Everything is spelled out. There's several of them on page 23 and 24 of the brochure, which is a nice thing to do. And it tells you how to get reimbursed for it. You are probably going to have to submit a claim. So make sure you get your receipt from the doctor, and then you can email it to us. Just snap a picture of it and text or email it to us, and we will send you the money.
Okay, another question just came up. What is the main difference between self+1 versus self and family?
Well, of course, we used to only have self and family. And then because of the nature of things, I mean, a large portion of our population is just husband and wife. So we changed, and through the government, we have self+1, and then self and family is for anything above just you and your spouse. So some people use that for just one child, some for several. That's the basic explanation, but that is, save you money when your kids are grown and out of the house, it'll save you a little money.
So if you have one kid, you would use self+1?
Yes.
Okay. And kids, like my oldest is 20 and he's in college. How long can he be under my vision care?
So for all of the FedVIP program, 21. And if he's in college, 23. So they will
He's
stay
staying
on.
in college then.
Yes, that's right. He is staying in college. So
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, I don't mean to cut over, but my husband and I had my son on the TRICARE, and I had to get a letter from the university after he turned 21, or was it 22? And we had to convert over to TRICARE for youth and put him on a separate policy. And that policy was supposed to stay in effect until he was 26. But at 25, he got a real job. And I had 30 days to get him off of the TRICARE for youth, or I'd get penalized. But we were paying over $800 a month for that TRICARE for youth.
That was for his health as well, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the FedVIP program is limited. There are 5 vision carriers, and OPM, that's the choices that you can choose from, but it doesn't include the healthcare. It is a standalone vision program only.
Okay. And then if I wanted to add the hearing, or I'm sorry, the vision and the dental, would be like supplementals to the TRICARE?
No, they would be separate. It is supplemental, but it's standalone.
Okay.
But I also think, Eddie, it's important to note that it's just vision if you're active duty. So if you're retired, it is dental and vision, but we can, as active duty, we can only get vision supplemental insurance.
That's right. Thank you, Tiffany. That is exactly right. So if you are a TRICARE retiree, you are eligible for the dental. Our Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP dental is fabulous. You can get out to it and actually see online all of the benefits listed at bcbsfep.com. bcbsfepdental.com and bcbsfepvision.com.
If someone could drop that link in the chat, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I'll give you $5 if you could spell it.
I'm pretty sure Laura and
Foxtrot, Echo. Just kidding.
Yes. I know. Any other questions that you might have? Our dental, when you get ready to sign up for the program, it's very simple. You simply go to benefits, benefeds, benefeds.com or .gov, They just changed that this year. So benefeds.gov, and you will be able to look at the programs out there, look at our program, see the benefits, sign up. It's really simple.
Yeah, when I did it a couple years ago, I literally just did it from my phone. It was very, very easy. I thought I was like, oh great, I got to block an hour to do it. And it wasn't. It was really fast. I was like, it can't be this easy. Why is it so easy? Yeah. And then I stayed enrolled, right? So I didn't have to renew, but I could change it to the open season window, right? The Marine Corps birthday reminds me to update my policy if I need to, but
That's right.
yeah.
Absolutely. It is very easy in my estimation to do that. So I'm glad to hear you say that. And just to highlight what you said, if you're already enrolled, you don't need to do anything. It'll roll over till next year. So
Yeah.
we would, and on our dental program, we have over 500,000 locations with dentists all around the country. And we do have a global plan with our dental as well. Since dental is a little bit more involved, you'll go more than once a year, probably for your dental stuff. We have an 800 number you can call if you are overseas. We can help you find English-speaking doctors. You may have to pay out of pocket. If you do, again, keep the receipts. You can submit them to us. We have a lot of people doing those right now. And overseas premiums are rating area 1 as well. So they're our most affordable for both high and standard option premiums. So we have lots of dentists out there for you to choose from. You can go onto our website and download a brochure, or you can call toll free for our vision program. You can call toll free 888-550-2583. That's for our vision program. Again, it's 888-550-2583. Or for our dental program, you can call toll free 855-504-2583. Right. Thank you for all your help. I usually am not technically challenged, but today something blew up in here. I'm afraid to see what.
That's okay. Maybe your Kelvin temperature is just not set correctly in your house.
It may not be, or I might not have
His lighting is all off.
my lighting is all
It's
off.
changing his mood and his vibe, and he's just not there.
Well, it is a gorgeous day in Tampa today, except the temperature's probably in the 50s, so we're all freezing to death. Getting ready to go get my heater and put it on my feet. So, other questions? Last call for questions I see coming up there. Thank you, Michelle. Any other questions? You'll find everything you need on our website. So it's BCBS FEP Vision and BCBS FEP Dental.com. Right. And now I'm going to go decide what color to paint my, when you have that one wall red.
Your accent wall. You're
Ooh,
going
my
with a red accent wall. No, you need to go with a light yellow, Eddie, down in Florida.
Oh, I might need to do that. You know, we just painted all the walls inside light green. They've been blue forever, but my wife said, no, we're doing light green. Okay. Because you know, y'all are the boss, right? Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any other questions.